What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we have a bunch of stuff to cover and discuss, especially with this leading up to a major boom in the crypto space. There's a lot of interesting technical analysis and charting we have to discuss within Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP. Those are the major coins for discussion today. We will also be checking out the coin market cap and following up with our Litecoin boom. Could Litecoin boom past $60 and set Bitcoin up for a price surge? Those are the topics of discussion today, guys. If any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe, leave a giant thumbs up, make sure to turn on the little bell for post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any important crypto related information, news, current events, technology, and just, a heads up, guys, we're, nearing 8,000 subscribers on our way to 10K, and I will be doing a really big giveaway for 10K, so make sure to be subscribed and have those post notifications turned on. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So guys, before we jump into the article, I do just really quick want to discuss the current market cap. As you guys can see, Bitcoin dominance being 50.6% indicates that we are seeing a slight decrease in that, which means altcoins are kind of maintaining their price levels a little bit stronger and healthier than Bitcoin is. So we should see alts a little bit higher today. We also see a 24-hour volume at 29 billion, which is significantly lower than where we've seen it the past couple of days, indicating steady markets, long consolidation, no volume, and then we see a dipping market cap at 139, which should be an indication that we're starting to see the market kind of go downwards, and we're going to check that out with these current coins. So you can see out of these top 10 cryptocurrencies, majority of them are in red except for Binance coin, once again shooting up 12%. This is huge and seems to be on the radar, and I do believe maybe next week after we do, I believe this week will be an XRP week, maybe next week we'll review Binance coin. Let me know if you guys have any interest in Binance coin in the comments down below. But otherwise, top 10 cryptos, actually very odd enough, Bitcoin seems to be holding its resistance or its support quite well, only down 22% or 0.22%. Otherwise, the other coins are down quite a bit. Cardano down 4% after taking a pretty big swing to the upside. Litecoin still holding the number 4 position. We should eventually hopefully see that past XRP. Obviously, it's about 4 times stronger XRP is in terms of market cap than Litecoin, but Litecoin only down 1.99%, still just literally teeter-tottering at that $60 resistance level, which we're going to discuss in a second. But, for the most part, market is in red for the most part. Not really down by much, though, honestly, maybe 2%, maybe 2 to 3% average. Otherwise, guys, before we jump into the article, definitely make sure to check out the second link in the description. It's a link to the ABRA exchange. They're doing a huge promotion right now. Like I said, make sure to sign up, for those of you who are new to the channel. Literally sign up. All you got to do is deposit $5 from your bank account into the app, and they will send you free $25 Bitcoin. It is that simple. It does help support the channel. We've had now over 150 people take advantage of this, so huge shout out to you guys. You guys are really making this channel what it is, and it's absolutely awesome. So definitely check that out. Download it, get your free $25, and you can do whatever you want with it. It's free. You can take it right back out and deposit it right into your bank. Otherwise, guys, moving on to the episode for discussion today. What exactly am I referring to when I mentioned the title, Litecoin boom could pass $60 and set up a Bitcoin surge to the upside? So let me go into a little more in depth as to what exactly I'm referring to. So Litecoin has been receiving some flack as of late. As of the late times, but there's no denying the surge the cryptocurrency has undergone in the recent months. One analysis argues that the rally in specific, could potentially help Bitcoin move up much higher. We've seen actually Litecoin move up quite a bit since the beginning of the year. In mid-December, Litecoin was trading at around $23, but since the December 14th, or since that date, with many news coming out, and many different promotions and how we're going around with sponsorships and really, spreading mainstream adoption, we saw Litecoin now currently at around $60. So from 23 to 60 is about 160% jump, which is massive. It's a massive jump. We also seen Litecoin, I believe, about 110% US dollar standpoint and up 110%. Yep, that is absolutely insane to see the price shoot up that heavy. So we could see some layover now, that especially a lot of people are reviewing the charts and seeing the same pattern that I'm seeing, which I'm going to relay to you in a second. But they're starting to see a correlation between Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, which makes sense because they are pretty much big brother, little brother, and they are kind of intertwined with each other in terms of price action. Some seem to foreshadow others in terms of which one breaks out, then the other one usually follows. So we will will go a little bit more in depth on the charting below. I'm just kind of skimming through this article to see if I covered anything or missed out on everything. But basically, that pretty much sums up what they're trying to refer to, that Bitcoin and Litecoin are tied in together, and they usually act accordingly. You know, when we see Bitcoin spike, we see Litecoin spike as well. But seemingly the markets are changing in this new, era, and we are starting to see Litecoin kind of lead the way, over Bitcoin. So Litecoin is definitely one of those major, cryptocurrencies to really keep an eye on. They're making history, guys. They're really setting the path, showing people what the possibilities are for Litecoin. So it's absolutely mind-boggling to me to see that Litecoin is truly, taking off in such a positive, strong direction, especially with its community as well as the Litecoin Foundation. So it's absolutely insane. And obviously I started this channel discussing Litecoin, and you've seen the potential growth that it has, especially on the channel itself. So it's huge, guys. We're really building a core Litecoin community on this channel. Obviously we do have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP hodlers, and huge shout out to them too for helping this channel grow. But obviously I don't want to delay any later or longer than I have been. But let's dive into the charting so we can really discuss in depth as to what's happening. So I did kind of peek prior to making this video. Bitcoin is definitely the interesting coin that we might go a little bit longer in depth to today. But I want to show you guys Litecoin first. So we've been tracking some sort of ascending wedge for quite some time now. Honestly, a couple of weeks, if not months. It started back in January, and you can see since then we've pretty much, converged into this really massive ascending wedge, which, isn't 100%. It's not going to be there and just take us all the way up to $400. It's usually not how it works. It's obviously possible. I can't predict the future, but I could definitely make a pretty educated guess on where it could potentially go. So you can see that we are building some sort of staircase wedge, but the interesting part is as we slowly consolidate and move up to higher levels, let me add that RSI back in, we start to see some resistance, not necessarily in between the following resistance and support of the ascending wedge, but we start to see some price barriers, some mental price barriers as well as physical barriers. One that we're coming close to is at around $66 to $67 USD compared to Litecoin. And you can see I have that drawn right here up at $66, $67, or 66 and change. And you can see we're coming very close. Now, what's interesting to note is previously, like last week, we managed to trade sideways and shoot up. And we managed to hit around $61, which was where our resistance was. Now, we did seem to hold that quite well. And then we decided to trade out sideways. Now, what that did was actually lower our RSI. And that's huge. That literally opens doors to us being able to move up in a higher direction. And that is exactly what it's doing. So with us trading out sideways, the price stayed relatively the same. It lowered our volume and it lowered our RSI. So that is very nice, and it does help build up volume and support for us to move up in a higher direction. So not only did we hit the resistance, I pretty much called this, and you can go scroll back a week. This was on the so March 16th, so literally about a week ago, maybe little over a week ago, and you can see we then decided to climb out sideways, which was very interesting, and it did actually help us, consolidate that price, giving us potential to move up higher. Now, it does seem like this week is closing down. It is Sunday. We are ending the week, but crypto doesn't stop, and the fact that we have finally touched our support now, with this candle, we should potentially close this candle on the uptrend, and that should, start a move to the opposite direction. This should potentially help us climb back up higher now. And you can see what we've noticed in the past is when we did touch this yellow support, what did we do? It's very possible that we can climb up it, but that means we're going up in price, which would be all the way up to potentially $65. But we also had some major breakouts and spikes. I personally consider this a breakout when we go from 33 all the way to 47. It's a pretty significant break. But now you notice that this ascending wedge is slowly starting to close in on itself, and it does kind of end around that $67 barrier. So we may see either a climb all the way up to $64, or we may see a very nice spike in the price, as we've seen last week, the week prior. We had here, and then we had one over here. We may now see that, and I can draw that out for reference on people on mobile. A move like this, very possible. If that doesn't happen, we could easily see a climb like that. Now, I believe this is a very famous quote. sometimes we see things. History may not repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes, which means that it pretty much repeats itself and has very similar patterns, as rhythm. It has beats and it rhymes, and you can see it's pretty much been doing that every single time. To draw that out once again, you can see sideways trading. We moved up, we traded out, moved up again, traded out, moved up again, traded out, and you can see they're getting very small. Kind of mess that up and then move up even more. But you can see the staircase we're having as we consolidate out, lower down our high-low MMA. We lower our RSI, then we shoot up again, which increases the RSI, then we drop down or trade sideways and we lower the RSI, and we continue that pattern all the way up until we hit a resistance. But even then, resistances can be broken when we have some sort of stability like this, and it's going to hold pretty well. So I definitely expect the market to kind of turn around very soon. Bitcoin kind of worries me right now, guys. Now, looking at Litecoin, because Litecoin seems to be holding the move right now, you see a very similar pattern with Bitcoin too. Litecoin seems to be holding the move. We are continuing to go up. We found our bottom support. If things don't just, fall on top and we crash down to $46, we should be able to break outwards and go up. Now, if that signifies that and we start to see that move, this should potentially wick back upwards, and we should see this close as a wick, not a candle. Now, that will be justified today. If indeed this does close below our uptrend, it is definitely a possibility that we could spiral back down to our support at $3,800. Obviously, that wouldn't look too pretty, but it is possible, and it is worrisome when we see this uptrend being tested by our green band on the high-low MMA on our Bitcoin daily. So that is an indicator that we could pull back down. It is kind of nerve-wracking to see us break below our purple band. If things go well, we wick back up, we break through finally this green band with enough volume and shoot up higher to potentially over $4,000. So definitely keep that in mind as we wrap things up for today's episode. Ethereum looks very good too, and seeing all these altcoins kind of follow a pretty path, it kind of reassures me that Bitcoin should potentially follow Ethereum and Litecoin and continue to head up. They're both retesting support of their purple bands, which is an indicator of, the bottom is in and we should, climb up higher. And if we see that and it's strong enough with Ethereum and strong enough with Litecoin, Bitcoin should hopefully counterbalance this, shoot up, break through our green band, and we head higher. Now, notice that we did, start to see those candles form again. We've had previous candles numerous times, but we're starting to wick back up, which is an indicator that this uptrend is a very, very, very strong one at that. And we are coming very close to this ascending triangle finally closing off. You can see we're getting very, very, very sandwiched between a green band of the high-low MMA, a yellow band of resistance, and our uptrend. Kind of 2 against 1, which is kind of an indicating about a 70-30 bearish move, which isn't that good, but with the markets being the way they are, and we've seen a lot of potential breakouts to the upside, it is possible we could blow through here. That's obviously what we want to see, but it is definitely a possibility we could fall lower. Obviously, like I say on this channel, the way I invest is I wait for the move. If we break through the yellow band, that's when I buy in and I ride the wave up. If we break through the purple band, I know to try to catch the bottom. We can calculate the bottom, but it's not that important in today's episode. Lastly, to check out XRP, very, very, very similar movements with XRP. For those of you who are hodling this, you can see a very similar pattern is happening. We're coming to an end. You can see this yellow band is acting as a resistance, but you can see we're getting held by support by our purple band. You can see as I zoom in, we have this uptrend. We're trading out sideways here, currently acted as a resistance, pulled down, but we should, either wick back up off that or trade out sideways until we hit the March, which is pretty much the beginning of April, or the mark, I apologize. And then obviously test this high-low MMA, which is holding up very, very, very strong and very firm. But otherwise, guys, that's going to sum up today's episode. If you guys like what you see and want to hear more, definitely make sure to turn on post notifications and subscribe. Like I said, huge crypto merch giveaway as well as cryptocurrency when I hit 10K subscribers. We're probably going to end up hitting 8K this week, so that's a huge shout out to you guys. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.